structure or you don't understand why it's not lead generating, always feel free to hit me up and we can talk about it together. I don't always have, got a lot of people joining us now. Hold on. I don't always have the answer, but a lot of times trial and error kind of helps fix stuff whenever you're doing advertising. So I'm going to share my screen. I'll walk you through what I did, and then we're going to create a lead generation ad together. And again, if you have questions along the way, please stop me as I'm going. I will do my best to answer you. I am not a Facebook junkie or like the best guru in the world. At the end of today's class, I will give you some names that you can actually YouTube and watch if you want like further instruction after today as well. All right. All righty, guys. So we are going to go into Facebook.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Am I muted?
You are not muted.
You have 27,934 emails in your inbox?
Pay no attention to my emails on any training that I do. I have a system and it works. I promise you that.
I have over 50,000, so don't feel bad, Nick.
Oh, geez.
I think that's also just in my Gmail. I think there's another 40,000 in my Outlook or something crazy. So it's all good. I read the important ones from you guys and I don't look at the other ones. And no, it does not bother me. I don't know why. I don't know why that's how I work, but that's how I work. So I'm going to find my ads manager. We're going to go back, by the way. So you don't need to take notes like right this second. I'm going to go back and show you step by step. I just wanted to show you the ad that I put together. So at least you can get an idea. So this one down here, right here, this line item where it says off and says lead gen, you'll see over here, it says that I had generated 49 leads, and that number is inaccurate because I paused the ad, restarted it, and then redid it. So the first one generated at least about 10 or 11 leads. So it's more like probably 60 leads actually that I generated. It shows you your reach, it shows you your impressions, and then the cost per lead, which was $3.54 when it ended. And there was a time, like I said, where it was around the $2 mark, and that's when I had just refreshed the image and done a couple of tweaks to the ad to kind of fine tune it. And we'll talk about what that means today as well. I spent a total of $173 to get these 49 leads. That was at about a $10 a day budget. So this ran for, I'm guessing, about 17 and a half days, basically. That's what I set it at. And I do recommend spending about $5 to $10 a day. Actually, $10 a day would get you a lot better organic reach than just spending $5. And we can talk about that a little bit more as well. Joe says he has 88,000. I will try to check chat as best I can. If you guys can unmute yourselves and ask questions, it's so much easier when it's just me flying solo.
I actually do have a quick question. So why does the amount change for lead? I don't understand that part of it, I guess.
What do you mean? The cost per lead?
Yeah, I don't understand why that. Like why? So you're paying $10, or does that matter? I mean, I guess that doesn't matter. I just was curious.
The cost per lead totally matters because that's how much it's costing you per result that you're getting. And the whole idea of a lead gen ad is to get results, right? It's not like an ad where we're trying to get traffic. Like when you guys boost a post, it's nothing like this ad that we're going to create today. Boosting a post is just getting more traffic on whatever it is that you have in front of you, right? That's just exposing it. So no, $3.54, yes, totally matters. It's calculated based on how many results come in within the $10 that's being spent, right?
Okay.
So if you take that $10 and you break it up throughout the day and I only get 3 leads, then that's kind of where, if I'm getting 3 leads a day, that $3.54, as long as I'm getting consistently 3 leads for that $10 a day, that's where that math comes from.
Okay, thanks.
But sometimes you'll go a couple of days and only get 1 lead. Then your cost per lead goes up because now I just spent 2 days, $20, right? And I only got 1 lead. So now you have to cost average in that 1 lead for $20 versus the days where I got maybe 4 or 5 in 1 day. So that's why over like, this is a 17-day period, I'm assuming that I did this for, because this ad ran for about 3 weeks, but the first one I shut down and restarted to get this one. And so the $3.54 is averaged out over the 49 leads that I got.
And so you got 40 leads. What did you do with those leads?
They're just beta testing. I actually sent them to our company Scrubber. We partner with Ojo, and we can talk about that today too if you guys want to. We partner with a company called Ojo, and they're kind of like a lead scrubbing service for us. They kind of monitor our company website. But that is the key. With these, a lot of these leads are usually 6 months to a year out from making a move. So these are not like Zillow leads where they're going to be like overnight successes. Some of them, they're not like necessarily looking at property right away. And the type of ad that I did was kind of more broad, and I'll share what that looks like too. So let me click on my actual ad to show you kind of what my motive was.
Hey,
'Cause it was
Nick,
a-
real quick, if I can ask just before you move on, I know it's probably a dumb question or low grade question, but what is qualifying as a lead as far as a Facebook ad goes? Like, what is a lead? I mean, I know what a lead is, but what makes a lead on the Facebook ad, I guess is what I'm asking.
No, good question. For me, it was a first name, last name, phone number, email. That's what I set it up to be. You can set it up to be whatever you want it to be. Okay, and we'll talk about that too. So this is my graph here for my lead gen. Let's see if it'll actually show you guys the actual ad. Let me click on edit. Let me see if it'll pull it up here. You guys can see my screen, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So and we're gonna go through this together. So don't like, I just want to show you what it looked like. So I took a photo from a listing that we had as CBCA like 2-3 years ago. This was somebody's sold property from 2-3 years ago. There's like a little Spanish in South LA or whatnot that I had found. And I was like, that looks like an approachable photo. And keep in mind, guys, this is all marketing. I started out with a picture from BrandServe on this ad, and I got literally like 2 leads over 5 or 6 days. And that's why I shut it down and restarted it, because what I was doing wasn't working. So you have to play with these things and tweak them and pay attention to them. So I noticed that my beautiful, sexy multi-million-dollar living room shot wasn't getting the clicks, right? Because my ad, if you click on it here, basically said, get out of the LA crazy, get the home of your dreams, government programs, down payment assistance, start small or start big. We have the answers to your questions to make your homeowner dreams a reality. So that was my ad. And because what I noticed in the market was I kept talking about it with you guys, and I was talking about it in masterminds. I kept saying, like, guys, there's people leaving Los Angeles. I kept saying, like, there's people leaving Los Angeles. Like, where are they going? Well, if you looked at every CBX listing we had in the past year, half the time it said that Los Angeles was where the buyers were coming from. Every time you looked at CBX, for those of you that use that tool, it literally was telling you everybody's coming from LA. So what are we doing about it? So I was like, okay, let's go ahead and create an ad around this because nobody else is. So I'm going to do it. So that was part of my pitch. And I should have been doing this a year ago, but I just started doing it now to see if it would work. And it seems like it worked. And I'll go over some statistics on like what we're noticing with what leads are actually valid and what are not, because I'm sure that's going to be somebody's question too. Like, are they good leads or not good leads? We'll go over that. But my whole thing was, hey, listen, you're living in LA. Basically, I know you don't like LA anymore because either you don't like the homeless, you don't like the politics, you don't like something about Los Angeles. It's too busy, all of that. So you're leaving it. Where are you going? You're coming to Long Beach, Lakewood, where you can drive on the street and actually not deal with as much traffic. You don't see as much homeless. It's closer to the water, all of those things, right? So I put all of that in here. And I also put things like government programs and down payment assistance, because whether a buyer got 20% down or not, they always want to know information on how can I get some free money? Everybody wants to know, how can I get some free money? So I put that in there as well, kind of as more of a grab for them too. Hold on, I've got somebody in the waiting room. So long story short, this is what my ad looked like. If you clicked through, it was basically some bullet points and a first name, last name, phone number, email, and that's how I got them. I'll show you my targeting as well. If you click on this next page here, this is going to show you my targeting. So if I scroll down, it'll show you all the criteria that I used, because I know you guys are familiar with this. If you boosted a post on Facebook, usually it shows you this same stuff. So with a real estate ad of any kind, you cannot you have to abide by the housing guidelines. So that it's a protected category. There's 4 protected categories: credit, employment, housing, and I always forget the last one. Oh, political or religious promotion or something of that nature. So up here, it makes you choose a city. You have to choose 15 plus miles. You don't get a choice on that. And then you can't choose any age range or gender. Not allowed to choose any of that stuff. But what you can choose is the detailed targeting. So these are the interests that I always think work really well for a real estate ad. Realtor.com, land and houses, bungalow, mortgage calculator. And these are things that people have interacted with on Facebook or other platforms that Facebook has tracked them looking at, right? There's this little thing called cookies that follows you around, and that's how this information is developed. And then I also said that they must match a secondary layer. So no matter what information up here that they match, they also have to match at least realtor.com or Zillow. And what that tells me is that if they've been on Zillow or realtor.com, they're realistically interested in real estate, or they're actively looking, in my opinion. That's an opinion. But I would assume that people who are on there usually are valid leads. So that's how I did my criteria. It's pretty simple. You guys can I'll copy and paste this if you want all the same ones. It's really not hard to do, and I'll show you that in a second. And so there you go. That's the ad in a nutshell. Any questions before I show you how to like do this?
Yeah, I have a question.
I have many-
When you're doing the detailed targeting and you're saying realtor.com and Zillow, are those people who are on Facebook that are then looking at the Zillow profile on Facebook? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, because there's advertisements from realtor.com and Zillow on Facebook as well. So if they clicked on one of those ads or engaged with content related to Zillow or realtor.com, then that's how they determine those kinds of interests.
Okay, and you can only put 2 there, or those are the 2?
No,
that
you can do as many as you want, and I'll show you that in a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you just had I just saw right above, you had a 15-mile radius. Is that pretty good?
You're required to have 15 miles around whatever city you want. And keep in mind, I only chose Los Angeles because my ad pertained to Los Angeles, right? That's why. Normally, for most of you, you're probably going to want to do this in Long Beach, Lakewood, or it's going to depend on what market you're tackling and what your ad is about, right? What is your ad about? I think the only reason why this ad worked is because it's a core issue in the market. I was on a, somebody got a dog? Okay. I was on a call with Peter Parnig, the ninja selling guy, last Friday, and he was basically telling all of us, like, listen, you know, not to like go for the pain, but to hear people out on their pain. Like he was saying, hear people on what their pain points are. So like for me, a big pain point in the market was relocating out of LA. How do you do that? Where do you go? This is one of the things I thought would be a good ad. Another great ad. Has anybody done any advertising on Prop 19? Like, have we done anything about Prop 19 trying to target homeowners who own their homes and want to maybe transfer their tax base and yada, 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 all of that craziness, right? Have we done any ads on that? That would probably get a ton of clicks, right? The know-how on Prop 19. I was talking with a big agent last week about forbearance. He wants to do ads all about forbearance. So because he thinks a lot of people are going to be stuck in their homes and they're not going to know what to do, and they're not going to be able to refinance or, you know, restructure their loans. So what are they going to do? They're going to have to sell. So he wanted to do ads around forbearance. These are all huge touch points in the market right now that will get you leads, right? And it's not necessarily about a single home. It's about an issue we're dealing with that will result in leads for real estate. So my point is, tackle the pain in the market, provide a solution, you will get leads. That's the whole point.
So are there people that have used Facebook ads and been successful? I mean,
Facebook ads have been, I don't know anybody in our company necessarily, and that's kind of why I'm starting to do this, because I know people are getting frustrated with like social ad engine. People feel like maybe social ad engine costs too much money, or the leads that they're getting.
I've been, over the last few months, I've been doing all sorts of different things, different people that I've been kind of following and paid for. You know, like for example, one is Katie Lance, and other places. And Facebook ads, they all don't seem to think that they're great. I mean, yes, they're great for exposure. You might get some few leads, but I don't know. So I'd like to see some success stories.
Out of the 50 leads we have right now, we're actually having conversations with 10 of them.
Over how long a period of time now?
We've only had them for a month. So 20% conversion is not bad. You know what I mean?
Well, obviously the thing is to get leads. I mean, that's be able to work on this.
Yeah. And that's why I was, you know, before we get into this today, that's why I wanted to make very clear that, you know, you got to incubate these leads, guys. Like if we got 10 conversations going with people who are actively interested in what we're talking about in this ad that I just showed you, that's 10 out of 50, right? Or 10 out of 60, maybe, if you count the original batch too. That's not bad numbers if we're having good conversations with 10 of them. If 10 are like, we're going to actually cultivate them. And out of the 50, we're still dripping on all of them. We're still reaching out. We're still calling. We're still emailing. It's not like they're all dead. It's just that we're having a near, I guess, around a 20% conversion on actually having real life conversations and starting to work with them and signing them up with lenders and getting that process going. So I don't think that's bad. I mean, if you can spend $200 and have 10 new clients, that's not bad numbers, right? Especially
Better than Zillow.
well, especially if you go out for Zillow and you spend money and hey, you get a rental lead and you thought you were going to get a sale lead and you don't make any money, right? So, and you're also spending near $1,000 a month to make that happen. So I just want you guys to have another resource than just going to like Zillow or realtor.com, because this is all in your control too, which I like. You have full control. This is all you. You're not relying on anybody else. So,
Can I jump in real quick, Nick? This is Corey.
oh my God, I haven't heard your voice. Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, Joe, I ran a Facebook ad for 2 weeks back in like maybe July, August of last year. And I got a closing from that. And it was a 4.
Great.
So yeah. So, I mean, that was my first time ever running one. And it took a while, but we got it. They closed. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I really think that they work. I'm telling you, I'm not like blowing smoke. I wouldn't teach it if I thought it was.
I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying that it's definitely different than when Facebook was having, and people were doing a whole bunch of ads because they've changed a bunch of the things that you can search on and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm sure they work.
They work. You just got to have the right things to say, in my opinion. So let's go back to Facebook, because a lot of you will get into your Facebook and you'll just see this kind of a page and you'll kind of wonder where you need to go. So over here, for most of you, you're not going to see Ads Manager. What you're looking for is your Ads Manager. Okay, that's the first note to keep in mind. You don't want the Ads Center. You want the Ads Manager. Huge difference. Huge difference. Ads Manager gives you a lot more creative freedom. Ads Center is kind of like a lightweight version, kind of like drinking a Diet Coke instead of a Coke. Okay, it's kind of like that, right?
I love Diet Coke.
It's like not the same, right? I mean, it's just not the same. But it's okay.
How do you change your page so that you can find that?
It'll be here though, Mary. It'll be in the drop down. That's what I want to make clear. So
Okay.
it should have a drop down. So hold on. It will look like this. It'll look like this. You'll only see the top 4 or 5 things that you engage with. If you drop it down, it'll be in all these crazy buttons that we never play with, right? It'll be somewhere. So you should see your Ads Manager. So we're going to click through. If you don't see your Ads Manager, it's fine.
Melissa.
Is it Melissa?
Melissa.
Sorry.
I got it. I figured it out. I'm like, hello. All right. So you can always go to facebook.com/ads manager too, just so you guys know. So facebook.com/ads manager will also take you to your Ads Manager. It just will require you to log in probably. So
Don't you have to have a business page to have an Ads Manager? Isn't that right?
Oh yes, keep in mind, yes. I hope you guys know you do need a business page. You will not have an Ads Manager if you do not have a business page. Does that make sense? I assume most people on this call probably have a business page, but if you
But
don't,
just to clarify, Nick, sorry, just to clarify, you don't have to do this from the business page. You can do it from your regular page, correct? Because they're kind of like connected. Is that what you're saying?
you only can do ads off your business page. So this will only operate off your business page, but we don't
So
really,
just go, okay, sorry, yes.
no, go ahead.
So I have to, okay, I was under the impression that I could do it from my regular and it was somehow connected. So the point is just go to my business page and do an Ads Manager from there. I got you. Okay, thank you.
And you can also find your Ads Manager on your business page as well, but there should be a link right off your personal page right at the front on that drop down I just showed you guys.
But the ad goes to the universe of Facebook, right? It doesn't stay within, right?
Well, it chooses, this is what's kind of fun about ads. Like if you just wanted to target people on your page that like your page, you totally could. So if you have a really good concentrated audience on your page, you could just have content in front of just those people. You really could do that if you wanted to. So we can talk about that maybe a different day or maybe at the end if you guys have questions. But it's going to bring you to this page. Now, if you've never done a Facebook ad, you're going to be looking at a whole lot of nothing. Okay. You're going to be looking at nothing. But even if you've boosted an ad or boosted a post, sorry, you should still see it as like a line item, but it's probably in the ad set off or the off category, right? Or you might see this ad set errors. Don't worry if you see ad set errors. If it's something you tried to do a long time ago and you never did it, just leave it be. Or you can always obviously delete all of these if you want to. I kind of like to keep mine so I can go back and reference whatever ads I've done. Just like you guys see my emails all stacked, same thing. I just kind of like to have everything there. All right, so we're gonna go down and we're gonna recreate something similar to this lead gen ad. So what I want you guys to do is find the green button once you're back here. Remember, we got here just by clicking Ads Manager. That's all we did. And we're gonna hit Create on the green button. Now it's gonna bring up a window and it's gonna ask you what you wanna do. This is where a lot of people are like, what the heck am I looking at? So just so you guys know, the middle column here is going to be the best for your real estate business. The conversion section over here is built more for people who have like online sales, like if they sell retail or like Herbalife or something like that, that would be something better done over here. You're going to stay in the middle. And really for today, I'm going to show you the lead gen one because I think most people on this call are concerned about lead generation, which is where you have like a form and you get like a first, last name and all that stuff. I know a little bit when it comes to traffic and engagement, but I do not know everything about all of these Facebook ads. So if you ask me questions, I will do my best, but I might not be the best person. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to name our campaign. I like to name my campaign something similar to what I'm advertising. So again, if it was forbearance, I might call all three categories here something about forbearance. If it was like Prop 19, I might call something about Prop 19. So just for this example today, we're going to go to lead gen for the top one because that's the purpose of this campaign. Actually, I'm going to call it lead gen testing 2, just so I can differentiate it. And then create an ad set. I'm just going to call this, we'll recreate the ad I did earlier. So we'll just do real estate relocation. Remember, these names are just for you to reference. These are not names anybody's going to see. This is just for you, okay? So don't stress on getting the perfect name. And I'll just call this one real estate. All right, we just named our campaign, our ad set, and our ad. What's kind of nice about Facebook ads too, once I got comfortable with it, was that it's kind of fun that it's just as simple as 1, 2, 3. Like you label your lead gen, what you're doing in your campaign. You create your ad set, which is a little more criteria around like what you actually want, what you want your reach to be. And then you actually get to create your ad finally. So it's kind of like 1, 2, 3, and you're done, which is kind of cool. So this is the special ads category here that I was talking about before. This is where you have to drop this down and select the housing one. Okay. If you don't select this and you just move on without it, it will let you move on without it, but then it will keep flagging your ad and you won't understand why it's not going through. You will get very frustrated. This used to frustrate the crap out of me. So housing is where you want to be. You don't have a lot of control over the campaign details. Basically, it's in an auction status. What that means is that you are competing against other people on Facebook for this category, okay? So you don't have a lot of control over auction style or any of the other styles out there. And obviously our objective with this is lead gen. So don't pay too much attention to this. This is just stating that you're paying basically in competition with other people on the open market for Facebook ads in this category, okay? The next option down here is A/B testing. Now, if you're going to spend like, I was talking to Peggy Castle about this yesterday. If you're going to spend like $100 a day or $50 a day or something, then yes, A/B test all day long. It's going to allow you to run 2 simultaneous ads and it's going to put more money behind which one is being more successful. This is something that's kind of cool about Social Ad Engine because Social Ad Engine actually does this for you. But if you don't want to have to deal with this, you don't have to, guys. If you're spending $5, $10 a day, don't mess with A/B testing. You don't have enough dollar power to get your ads off the ground, okay? So move on from there.
Wait, I'm sorry. Does A/B testing cost you money to do?
No, you can still move on with the same budget you have. The issue is that you're going to have, you know, if you're only spending $10 a day, now you've got 2 ads running at $5 a day each. So you
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I got it. Okay.
you're slowing down your budget,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing. So down here, you've got campaign budget optimization. Now, this is actually pretty cool. And I've been reading up on this more. Again, big thanks to Peggy Castle for kind of helping me out with this. But what this really does is it tries to put money behind your ad at the best times it thinks that your ad will perform. So this also has to do with time of day, the day of the week, everything. When Facebook is seeing traction. Also, it has to do with placement on the platform as well. Keep in mind, it's not just about seeing your ad in the feed. It also shows up in like the marketplace and the side ads all over the place, even in Messenger sometimes. We'll get to that in a second, but that's what campaign budget optimization means. So you're going to want to come down here, select your budget. For me, the last ad I did was just $10 a day. So I'm just going to do that again. And we're going to go ahead and hit next here. Okay. Everybody good with that? So all we did just now is we kind of set up our ad with what category, went over some options if we wanted to engage with like A/B testing. And we said, yes, we want to optimize our budget because we do want the platform to help us choose the best placement at the best times on Facebook and Instagram and all that. That's all we've done.
Okay.
Cool. And if I sound like I'm talking like a kindergarten teacher, it's just because I already got asked before I got on the call today to talk like a kindergarten teacher. So I'm like, I'm going to just do that. So if you're annoyed, just mute me for a minute. All right. So we already named our ad set real estate relocation, right? That's what I named it. You could change it right now if you wanted to. It's not a big deal. The other option it's going to say is, how do you want to get leads? So I use an instant form, which is where people type in their info. You could also get calls to your business and set it up that way as well. I don't have experience with the call option, but that would be kind of fun to try, I have to say. So I'm kind of curious about that, but I haven't tried it myself.
So when you click the instant forms, Nick, I'm so sorry. When you click the instant form, do you then have to create what you want the questions to be? Or are we going to get to that?
We're going to
Okay,
get,
sorry.
yeah.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. No, that's okay. It's a good question. We are going to get there though. And you have full customization over that as well. All right. It's going to ask which Facebook page. I've only got this one, so I'm going to use this one. It might have a little option for those of you that have never done this. I just thought of this. It says you've accepted Facebook's lead ads terms for this page. It might have a little red icon saying, hey, accept the terms of advertising. It might want you to do that if you've never done that. So don't be afraid to click on that and go through the prompt and accept, because that could hold you up. Okay. I'm not going to use dynamic creative. Dynamic creative is something that is amazing if you are trying to do advertising for, like, again, retail or like selling technology or something that's tangible. It's amazing at that, the way it's set up. I do not use dynamic creative for my real estate ads. I just don't. If you want to read up more on that, you definitely can. I don't think it's appropriate for a real estate ad, in my opinion. You can also set a start and end date for your ad, right? So maybe I want it to take off today and I only want to spend maybe like $100. So I could actually like state that I only want this to go for maybe a week, especially if it's like a listing, right? You're doing a custom ad for a listing. Maybe I only want this to go for an entire week. So start time today, ends in a week from now. The start date is in the past. Sorry, I'll have to maybe make it for tomorrow. Show more options. I can also add a spend limit, like I said. So I had a daily $10 on the page before for per day, but I can actually add a spend limit if I want to, how much I want the ad to actually spend per day if I want to go to that distance. Again, I don't want you guys to overcomplicate this. I don't think that's highly necessary. I did not do that for the ad I created. So maybe stay away from the ad set spend limits. But if you want to get that technical, you can. The other thing too, we have to choose our audience. So this is kind of more the fun part. You get to choose what you want to do. If you've never been on here before, you will have nothing under saved audiences and you will have nothing under custom audiences. Okay. There won't be anything there. But if you did want to do an ad like Joe was mentioning before, you go to create new. I actually can create a custom audience based off people who have liked my page or people who have visited my website. Facebook tracks all that information. So if you had something super like specific, like maybe you wanted to do a raffle or a giveaway or something for your business, and you just want to target people who have taken the time to like your page, this entire ad could be based off a custom audience of people who have actually just liked your page. And these are all the options.
But is
So,
does it have to be like a visual ad, or can it be like a written ad? Like, for example, if somebody gave me a really good review, can can I do an ad off of that without a visual? Although visual obviously going to be, I think it's important, but
I think the visual is going to be super important. You'll notice on the next page, I don't think there's an option to do anything without a piece of media, as they call it. So a photo or a video, there's not an option for that, at least on this type of ad, Joe. There might be an option for that on the traffic option as far as an ad goes, now that I think of it, but I haven't tried that yet.
Doesn't it have to have a certain percentage of photo?
Go
no.
ahead, Mary, what was that?
Doesn't it have to have a certain percentage of a photo or?
Yeah, I don't recall if Facebook will allow you to do something without an image. I have to say, I can't remember if it'll allow you to do that or not. But you know, my thing to you, Joe, would be like, hey, if you want to advertise a testimony or something to the people who have liked your page, why not take a quick snapshot of the client with like a sold sign or maybe a selfie of you guys together, or, you know, just add something to the post so that it'll qualify.
Post the review on top of the of their home picture, you know, maybe.
Oh, that'd be cool. I like that idea too. Yeah, be as creative as you want with it. That's the thing.
Can you, a quick question, can you, so you have these audiences that you can choose, like people who follow your business page, whatever. Can you just add those to the broader advertising you're doing? Like if you're reaching out to a certain zip code, but can you also add your Facebook people into that, or is that a separate?
I don't think so. I think it's separate because I tried to do this a couple of days ago to kind of beta test and it wouldn't let me, but let's try it together. So if like, let's just say people have already shown an interest in your business or product. Let's say I say my Facebook page, right?
But they're probably going to see they're probably going to see it anyways because they're part of your group. So they'll probably see whatever ad you create, is my guess.
Well, if the people who have liked your page don't partake in the criteria that you've selected for your ad, they might not see it. So this would almost be a situation where I would say create two separate ads, one for the people who like your page and one for the people who you're trying to reach or bring to your page or engage with whatever content you're advertising. But right here, you can see the prompt to create a custom audience. For me, it's everyone who engaged with your page. And there's options here. Anyone who just visited your page, anyone who engaged with an ad or a post. These are actually really great for those of you that have done a lot of Facebook marketing and whatnot before, because then you can kind of pull those same people back in repeatedly, right? That's pretty cool.
Will it tell you how many people those are or no?
It will not. They actually got sued not that long ago for telling people exactly how many people that was because it was violated privacy laws. So they actually won't tell you anymore. Trust me, I read up on all of this stuff because I was like, I'm not going to get questions today where like I don't know the answer.
I mean, they violate so many privacy laws that one's a no. Okay, interesting.
Hey Nick, what about they used to be able to show the likes and then you could go to them and you'd see who it was and you could invite them to your page. Is that gone?
That's still available.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's still available. So right here, again, this is the default. So it goes back a year with people who have engaged with your page. And this is just an example, guys, of creating a custom audience. You don't even need to do this. When I did my ad, I did none of this. I'm just kind of showing you this as the detour.
What is the default, Nick? I'm sorry, what's the default, the other one? If you don't want to create a custom,
leave all of this blank and just don't worry about it and move straight down to this section here.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to touch any of the new audience, saved audiences, any of that if you don't want to. But if you do, like if you're like Joe said, if you want to create an ad based off testimonials for just the people who have already engaged with his page, like his past clients, friends, family, then he might want to go to create new and do one based off of what he just talked about. So that's an option. And again, this is all based on your strategy, right? Because this is all marketing. So there's a million ways to look at this. So let's go back. Let's go down here to locations, because this is where we actually get to build our ad. So locations, people living in or recently in this location. Now you can do just people living in this location. For real estate, probably better to do people actually living in this location, in my opinion, because if they were recently there on vacation, is it really relevant? Perhaps not. People recently in this location, people traveling in this location, and it gives criteria on all of that. I think for us, living in the location is the best option. Clearly, the United States is too big of an area. So we're going to drop that down and we're going to just type in, let's just, for example, say Long Beach.
Nick, I don't know if you're able to do this or not, but for us old folks, could you make the screen bigger?
Oh yeah, let me see. Let me see. Is this helping?
Thank you. That's much better.
Hey, you gotta tell me. If you don't tell me, I don't know.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that.
I didn't know that was a thing, guys. You gotta tell me. Okay. So you'll notice that it defaulted to the 15-mile thing, right? And if I try to change it, look at what it does. It won't let me go any smaller than 15 miles. That's the new privacy laws and all of that, those issues that Facebook got sued for in the last couple of years. It used to be that you could target literally a zip code. It was amazing, but not anymore. So for long story short, I select my area. Now keep in mind, 15 miles covers a wide area. You can do multiple cities. If you want to add like, another city, maybe another good overlapping one would be Irvine to kind of get this bubble on the screen as well. Again, it's a pretty massive area. Notice how 3.4 million people are already included in my potential reach. So that's a lot. So we want to trim that down. Over here where it says detailed marketing and it says detailed target expansion, all demographics is off. We're going to say no. We want to pick some interests that people have. And this is kind of the fun part. This is where I was typing in stuff like, if I want to target like first-time home buyers, first-time buyer, right? That comes up as a thing. Now, keep in mind, if you type something in and it does not come up, it does not exist as part of their criteria, just so you know, or it violates the housing guidelines. That's why it's not showing up, okay? That's why we're in a special ad category. You are very limited on what you can target. So I target like Zillow. And you guys see this magical button off to the side called suggestions? Because trust me, it's not like I try to think of all 30 things I want to target. I just go to suggestions after I type in a couple and it gives me all the best options. So I go to Trulia, homes.com, first time home buyer grant, mortgage calculator, house hunting, all things that like whoever is in my category that I'm trying to target, I would target. So pre-qualification is something people probably look at. I'm assuming starter home.
Is there a detriment as to more? I mean, the more that you designate, is that hurtful or just?
Well, notice how my potential reach, it can be hurtful, yes, because look at my potential reach is at 500,000 people. That's kind of a lot of people to spend $10 a day on, right? So maybe I do like for sale by owner. We'll see if it ticks up. It went up 10,000. And these are estimates, guys. The potential reach doesn't hold a ton of merit, but it tries to give you an idea of where they are. So maybe I want to target the word bungalow because that's probably a big thing that people search for. So now I've got a lot of things that I included in this top criteria, which gave me 520,000 people. Now to spend $10 a day is a lot on 520,000 people. So this little button that says narrow audience, I can narrow it further. So notice how it says, and must also match. So this top section is all criteria that I want, basically the one-offs. So somebody might just be interested in bungalows, might just be a first-time home buyer, so on and so forth. Just one of those criteria each. But then I can add a secondary layer and say, well, hey, you could be a for sale by owner or looking at first-time home buyer grants, but I also want to make sure you're interested in Zillow. And this is how I trim down my numbers. Notice how now it dropped to 390.
Mhm.
And then I can do it again, see narrow further. And I can say, I want to make sure you also have been engaged with realtor.com. Because I know if you're on 2 search platforms, it's probably going to be good. Look, drop to 33,000. And I was talking to Peggy Castle and she was saying, hey, I would even go smaller. Personally, for me, I mean, my audience was like 700,000 people when I did my ad. So you don't need to go this small, but I agree with her in the fact that the more narrow you go, the more money you're spending on less people. So you do get in front of more people, less people more often, and the thing about marketing and being in the awareness of your people is being in front of them several times, right?
You'll probably get more people that are actively looking that meet your match, most likely, right?
What was that, Joe?
And you'll probably get more people that meet your match as opposed to a wider audience.
That's how I feel. I feel like you're going to get more quality the more fine-tuned you go. And I can keep going. They'll let you narrow further, I think, as much as you want. So you can just keep having fun with that to see what numbers come back. We'll leave it at 33,000. I think you guys get it. The other thing too is automatic placements versus manual placements. I was mentioning earlier, there's several places on Facebook and even Instagram where your ad is going to show up. Peggy was saying, I did automatic when I did my ad. I just let it kind of choose for me what it thought the ad would perform best, but you can go to manual. And you can choose whether you want only Facebook or only Instagram or both.
Wow.
And then you can go down and you can see each of these and where your ad is going to be featured and what it would look like. So just so you guys know, that's what this feature is showing you. And there is something to be said about like unchecking stories and unchecking stream and making sure that it only comes up in people's feeds. You know, you're concentrating those ad dollars just in one place. So there is something to be said about the power of that. I personally, again, I just did automatic placements and I had some good success with it. So I don't know if I don't have statistics for you to say what's the best, what's not. But again, it seems like everybody has their own take on how that should go. Any questions on that?
I do have a question, Nick. So the part where you were saying automatic placements versus the, what is it, manual or whatever? Can you go back down again? Sorry. If you hit Instagram, let's just say, they're not going to be reaching out to you through Instagram. They're still going to be having, you have to fill out the thing coming. It's still going to go redirect through Facebook, right? I'm just trying to alleviate having to check multiple sources for these.
The lead center is only possible on Facebook.
Okay, great.
Show you guys. I can show you guys what that actually looks like too, if you want to see it. I'll show you guys what the leads actually look like when they come in. And anyways, I'll talk about that in a little bit. I want to get sidetracked because I had something else to say, but I'll wait till later. The other thing too, optimization and delivery. Don't worry about this because you're doing a lead generation ad. Your only optimization choice is leads. If you guys choose like an ad for just traffic or an ad for video views, there's all kinds of different options that will display here. So because you're doing a lead gen ad, you don't have a choice on cost control. You don't have a choice on what you want to optimize because the goal is leads and that's leads only. Okay. This will look different for different types of ads. That's my point. Okay. We're going to move on. We're going to hit next in the bottom corner. And now we're on our last thing. So again, remember the very first page, we got basically our initial like foundation. The second one, we got to at least choose where it's going and who it's targeting and where it's going to be placed. The last step or the 3 out of the 1, 2, 3 is the creative part. So this is where you actually get to build the ad. And this is where if you want to connect your Instagram account, you can. You don't have to choose Instagram. You don't have to use Instagram at all if you don't want to. And long story short, you go to ad setup. It's going to ask you, do you want an image or a video or a carousel of images? All of that's possible. And down here where it says edit, this is where you actually get to pick what kind of media you want to choose. So where it says change media. This is the part, Joe, where I was kind of like, how would you do an ad without an image? Because I don't know. But then you can go ahead and select what image you want to use. And you can have video or anything you'd like, just so you know. And it's going to bring you to a place where it's going to show you how it shows up on each of these different types of feeds. So notice how this is the feeds on Facebook. This is the stories category on Facebook or Instagram. And this is the instant articles, right? So long story short, if I want to change this, I can go ahead over here to like horizontal. Oh, it's not letting me crop it. Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, hold on. So you can click on it basically, and then you can go ahead and see if you want to change the way it looks and feels. So there you go.
For this part, Nick, this is where the ad should already be made. Like I'm super like not into tech, so bear with me. What I mean by this is, so you've got your houses here. You're going to have your words on the above there. You can't do that in this. You would have to have your words and all that already done in your computer, and then you pull the whole ad and put it in. Does that make sense what I'm asking? Is anybody else with me?
You can build it. You can build it here. I mean, unless you're talking about like an Instagram placement and you want your like image to be like all dialed in with all the funky emojis and all the cool stuff on it. Yeah, you'd want to build that before you do this. But if it's for like a Facebook ad or whatnot, you'll notice that this is just the image selection here. And then down here is where if I start typing stuff in, it's going to populate over to the side.
So what would it look like? I guess, yeah, that's what I was curious as to how.
This is where you put your text.
That's what I meant. Okay, yeah.
No, so you build it in here.
Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate
And
that.
for those of you that
Picture, it's going to be on a separate text, right? It's not going to be superimposed on the picture.
What was that?
So the text part of it is not going to be on the picture. It's going to be on the on the description or whatever, right?
Yeah, your image, however you want the image to look, you would need to create that like in a Canva or a Photoshop or something like that if you want it to be like special or different. Yeah, for sure.
But if you did have something already pre-done, could you do that? Does
Yeah.
that make sense? You could
Of
just,
course.
okay, just making sure.
No, you totally could. You totally could. Facebook does. I think this is what Mary Worledge was kind of alluding to before. She said something like it has to, there only can be so much text in your photo. So be careful if you're advertising like a property that says like sold across it. If the sold takes up more than a certain percentage, and I can't remember if it's more than 25 or 30% of the image, then they won't advertise it because they don't want images with words all over it. So be careful with how much you do, because I have heard of agents getting really frustrated because they're like, why won't it go through? And we read up and figured out that it was because there was too much text on the image.
And
Yeah,
they'll
Nick,
send you-
it's
they'll
20%.
send you something telling you that too, though.
Oh, Corey, is that Corey?
Yeah, that was me. It's 20%. I had that experience.
Oh, well, there you go. 20%. So yeah, be careful with that. I understand what you guys want to do, and that's awesome, but just be careful with how much text you use. So this is your primary text here. This is your headline here. This is where this would show up. Every time I change something, it'll populate off to the side. So that's at the bottom there.
Oh, okay, so it gives you a preview of what's happening. That's cool.
Yeah, and you can tweak it as much as you want. Now, for those of you that are on a Mac, just so you guys know, if you want to insert emojis, if you hit Control Command Spacebar, that's how you get your emojis. And then I can be like, you know, hey, check this out, you know, that kind of thing.
Thanks. Nick.
You hit space bar to get the emojis?
If you do on a Mac, if you hit Command Control Spacebar, you'll get emojis. If you're on a PC, I believe it's Shift. Oh no, it's the Windows button plus a period. So Windows period, you will get emojis on a. It doesn't like me right now because I'm doing Zoom and sharing my screen, but it does work. Oh, there it goes. Okay, great.
What would be a good example of some of these things that you're typing in? Like, what would be a good example to put for primary text or headline? This is kind of where I get confused on not knowing exactly which route I should be going down here.
So this is where like you'd really want to have a good clear idea of what kind of ad you want to create, right? So if it was like Prop 19, I might say like looking to not pay higher taxes on your next move.
So kind of like a hook.
Do you feel stuck in your home? Do you want solutions where you get to live,
Oh, I see.
feel how you want? So
Okay.
that's just off the top of my head. I don't even know if that sounds good, but my point is like you can, you know, for me, an ad usually asks questions around a pain point or something like that in their life that's going to get them to be like, hey, yeah, I want to figure out all of those questions in my life. Let's go. So that's how I'd get them to click through, and I'd add in some emojis, of course, because that's just how I do things. So like, do you feel stuck in your home? So I might pick like a sad face. And then like, you know, pay higher taxes. I might pick like a little money bag or something funny if I can find some money here. So yeah, that's kind of where I go with it, depending on what I'm trying to do. I just helped, I was helping, was it Chuck White with his listing? And so we kind of, his listing is in downtown Long Beach. I think Chuck actually might be on the call. Is he here? Yeah, he's here. I was helping Chuck with his ad, and the biggest thing that he was trying to say, I was like, well, don't just advertise a listing. Like he wanted to advertise his listing. I'm like, let's create an ad based on like a lifestyle, because the cool thing about his listing was it was in downtown Long Beach, like a top floor. I learned that I can't say penthouse, but it was a top floor unit. And it was like the total cool lifestyle in the heart of downtown, like a block or two from the water. And I was like, let's advertise a lifestyle. So everything on his ad was about how you can get more for your money in downtown. And we targeted LA specifically. Because if you go into CBX again and you look up his property, guess who's buying that property? Most likely an Angelino. Hey, Chuck, who ended up buying your property? Are you there with us? No, I can't hear you. I can hear you through the wall. I can hear.
I have a question. If you're
Can you
using,
hear me now?
oh, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So it was an agent. It was an agent out of LA. I don't know where the owners are or the buyers are coming from, but it was someone from LA.
How funny. Oh my gosh, you
And
guys.
we
Fun.
got one inquiry out of Santa Monica.
See?
So that
Telling
was
you.
huge.
Telling you, people. I'm telling you.
Because and then remember, Nick, we put the whole thing, the tagline was something like same feel but better deal, because it was like basically the whole downtown LA vibe, but for a much better price point.
Same feel, better deal. That was a cool tagline. Yeah, Chuck. I think Chuck came up with that part. But
Can I ask you something about that? And because if you have a listing and you're using this to not only let people know about your listing, but also to get leads, is there a way that, how do I say this? For the listing aspect of it, how do you show your client that it is being, because it's not popping up on your feed probably. So how do you show your client, hey, look, it's all over Facebook. Here's an example. Will they send you, is there a way to do a screen grab, or will Facebook show you a sample, or no?
Yeah, I mean, this technically off to the side here is a preview of the ad. So I mean, if I zoom out, or if I even go when it's in review, you can kind of see what the post looks like and take a screen grab of that. And Facebook does provide analytics on how your post is doing with graphs and everything. It's a little harder to get out of Facebook than like Social Ad Engine makes it all pretty and easy for you. But you can get it out of Facebook as well.
And that's one of the things that I reported back to my clients was how many, leads we were getting from the various ads, how much were meaningful conversations, because again, they want to know, is there enough awareness about the property? Based on that awareness, how many showings are we getting? That kind of leads to, have we marketed it correctly? Have we priced it correctly? And all those kind of things. And is it ready to take a price reduction? Or is it something that we're going to continue? Do we have something that's working and we just got to need it to play out?
Hey Chuck, did you do Social Ad Engine and Facebook ads, or did you just choose one or the other?
I focused on, it was Facebook solely for this. And then that was what Nick and I were trying to utilize.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
So
guys.
this is going to be a really elementary question. Can I ask one more question? I'm sorry, Nick.
You're fine.
So somebody clicks on this thing here on Prop 19 or whatever, let's just say, they're literally just going to go to where they're signing up. It's not like they're getting more. They have to get the information by calling you or by filling it out. Is that right?
Yeah, so we're going to fill out your, again, this is just an idea, but yeah, we're going to show you what the form looks like to create that as well. So let's go ahead and move on. Keep in mind too, guys, you can create another option. Like let's say you have 2 ideas that you want to run on the same exact topic. I actually could hit add another option and it will run 2 ads. It's almost like an A/B testing, but it's not an A/B test because it will just run them at the same speed. So there is no A/B testing. It's not going to put more money behind one that's outperforming the other, but you can add a variant if you want, basically. So if I like what I said in this first one, but then I want to come at something with like a little more of a softer approach to Prop 19, I can go ahead and put something else in here and it will basically run 2 ads at the same time with the different variants, but they go full speed ahead with both of them. They don't like do any customization or whatnot for you on each of those. It's not a full A/B test is my point. So scroll on down. Again, you have the option to change the description, headline. You guys saw where that populates off to the side. And then down here, you've got this button that says call to action, sign up. I always like the learn more button a lot better, but you have options. You can see apply now, subscribe, book now, download, get offer. Like if you guys were actually doing your YouTube channel or advertising a video you did on your YouTube channel, I'd probably suggest using the subscribe button because that's what you want on YouTube is subscribes. So it just depends on what your angle is, but learn more is always a good soft approach when it comes to real estate. I'll be honest with you, I've never seen a partner Facebook page or a partner Instagram account. This looks totally new to me right now, so I don't have anything to say on this. It kind of caught me off guard just now. So I don't know what partner Facebook means. So I can't educate you on that right now, nor will I try. And in the essence of time, we're going to go down to our form. So question format, instant form, or automated chat. I'm going to go ahead and do instant form. I'm not necessarily on my, you can actually set up an automated chat through your messenger if you want to. But for today's illustration, I'm just going to do the form because we're running out of time. Instant form here, create form. And it's going to give me all these options to basically go through. So form name Maybe this is Prop 19 lead gen form, right? Ooh, that's got weird. All right, that's what I'm going to call it. Now, more volume versus higher intent. More volume basically lets you have a quick, simple, easy form like a first name, last name, email kind of thing. Higher intent is going to make them actually verify that their information is correct. So because you guys are in real estate, I would suggest going with the more volume option because you want them to click through and have the most ease of use. You don't necessarily want them to make sure every little thing is correct. Higher intent would be better if they were like applying for student loan forgiveness or something like that, right? We're not advertising that. So form type, intro, what kind of background image do we want them to see? A lot of times it's good to just go with the same image on your ad. So shoot, where was that cute, adorable little Spanish house? I don't even know. Okay, pretend it's the little Spanish house. I was gonna use the same image again, just so you guys know. That's actually a picture from Chuck's condo thing we were working on, but that's where the image goes behind my text here. And then your headline, you can basically say a little something like, you're almost there, getting more information on how to take, I'm gonna run out of room. Maybe you're almost there, and then I can actually write more below because it only gives me, what, 60 characters. Prop 19 is a measure that is helping countless homeowners move to where they want to be to live the life they want. Okay, now we've got some basic text there, right? So this is my little greeting, my little headline right before they have to fill out the question section, right? And then questions. And you guys notice what I'm doing, right? I'm just going like through the prompt. It's just boom, 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 right? Just filling it out however I want it to look. Like there's no magic right now or anything crazy. So add a question. You can notice off to the side what's already populated. So it's already going to ask for their email. It's already going to ask for their full name. That's what it's going to ask for. Now I can add a question. I think I'm too zoomed in. Joe, I'm so sorry. Hold on a second. I don't recognize part of this right now. Okay. All right, great. Okay. So you can add a custom question if you want to. I stay away from those because I think the less questions, the better. Down here under add a category, I can go ahead and add a contact field if like I want their phone number. And notice that when I click on that, it's going to populate their phone number off to the side, right? And I left it as simple as email, full name, phone number. If you want to ask a question, a custom question like, you know, hey, are you pre-approved, or you know, how long have you been looking for your home? You can add, you know, look at all the choices, multiple choice, short answer, all kind. You can add as whatever you want, just so you guys know. I kept it simple. I noticed the amount of leads you get is a lot better when you keep it simple. Privacy policy, it's going to make you have a privacy policy, just so you guys know. Now, when you guys go to Google, you can type in Coldwell Banker privacy policy, and it's literally going to take you to the exact link that you need. This is all you need here. So this little magic link at the top, you're just going to copy and paste this link at the very top. And I'm going to go back to my ads manager. I'm going to go ahead and put my link in here. And now I'm abiding by the also Coldwell Banker privacy guidelines, and I'm abiding by the Facebook, you know, privacy guidelines, right? And then link text, you can just type in privacy policy. This is kind of the boring setup work that you have to do a little bit. So this is all they're going to be asked. First name, last name, email, phone number. They've got that little intro that you created, which looks really nice. And then you're going to go down here to completion. Now the question is, you got to ask yourself, where do you want these people to go? So with a form, right, they're filling out their information because they either want to be contacted or they want to go somewhere for more information. So if I was going to advertise Prop 19 myself, I would probably try to take them to a landing page with more information around Prop 19, or create some kind of page on my website based off of Prop 19 to where there was still traffic coming to me and my website. Does that make sense? So you want them to go somewhere that has to do with you. That's the best scenario. If you're creating this ad just to get the leads and you're going to reach out, There's plenty of reading material online. Point them to a website online that has to do with Prop 19. But the best kind of ads point the traffic back to you on your site, right? So again, if I was advertising a listing or a property, I would go find my listing on my own website and advertise that link. So no matter what they were doing, they were on my website with my link. Does that make sense? But they still got the information they wanted because they got to the property information. So those are just a couple of little tidbits on that. Headline, thanks, you're all set. You can visit our website or exit the form now. If you want to change that, you can. I think I left that alone on mine. Call to action, view website. You can also choose call the business. So maybe you want them to actually call you after they went ahead and filled out the form. That's an option. Download, if you have like a PDF you want them to download or something like that right off the form. And I've actually never tried the download option, but that actually sounds really good. If you had like a PDF on you and you just hosted it online somewhere, that actually sounds like a really great option. And then for the website, you do have to add your link down here. So for illustration purposes, I'll go ahead and just, yeah, I'll just take this guy here. I'm just using the privacy policy. You don't want to do that, but I'm just doing that so I can get off the page. It won't let me move on without that.
Nick, it could be either your Facebook business link or anything. It could be your website, your Coldwell Banker website, or yeah.
Anything you want it to
Okay.
be. It's just usually best if it pertains to what your ad is about, right? Because
Yeah,
they just filled out their information to get something usually. So
Yeah.
what
Thank
do
you.
they get? Oh, for description, you do have to let people know about where their data is going. So I usually like to put your information will not be shared with any third parties. And if you want to put this, you can. If you want to put an agent maybe in touch with you to see how they can assist you. That's one of the Facebook best practices. They say to tell people that an agent might be in contact with you or something. I don't know if you want to say that, but at least say something about that your information will not be shared with any third parties. I'm going to hit publish. So now my form is created, right? So I built my ad, I built my form, and basically you're ready to go. You're ready to rock. The only other thing it might ask you for if you've never done it is plug in your credit card information so that it can charge you. But other than that, guys, you're ready to rock, and I would just hit publish, and it will probably be in review for about 24 hours, maybe less, and you'll have a live Facebook ad going. Any questions on that? Okay. I think I have a question in the chat. Except Facebook. Okay.
So what happens if you don't like the ad or it's not operating well? How do you stop it?
You literally go to this little tab here and you just click it off. That's it. It's just a tab, click off. As soon as it turns gray, your ad is not going anywhere.
And then how does Facebook bill you? Do they do it at the end of the month? Do they do it like immediately, or?
They do it based on when your ad was supposed to go. So if you wanted it to run for 10 days, once the ad is complete, that they will bill you. Yeah, they don't charge anything up front until the ad has finished. If you do a longer than 30-day ad, yes, it will bill you monthly.
And then Nick, were you gonna show us where we get these leads when they do fill this thing out?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to Facebook. So I will be super honest. I am unsure of how to get to your leads from the ads manager. You have to get to your leads center. So I'm going to go back to my Facebook page and I'm going to show you guys that way. And that just might be me not knowing, or maybe it's not possible because ads manager is just about the ads, not about the leads, but I don't know. So I'm back on my Facebook. You're going to want to go straight to your page. However you get to your page, some people do the shortcut thing down here. You can see some people have it on a drop down, like over here somewhere. So wherever you get to, it's cool. I'm going to get to mine this way. You're just getting to your business page. And you guys see this lead center thing over here? This will show up once you have leads. Okay, before you have leads, it may not be present, basically.
Does it notify you at all?
So that was what I was going to say earlier, and I didn't want to get people sidetracked. I'm working on it right now to set up what they call a rule, RULE, like a rule. When a lead comes in, you do have to set up what they call a rule, and you can have it notify you by email or text and all of that stuff. I have yet to figure it out. It's more complicated than I thought it would be. It just is. It's just more complicated than I thought it would be. But as soon as I figure that out, that's going to be my next thing. For now, if you guys are doing this, I would just suggest checking it on the daily and, you know, making sure that you're in touch with what's going on your Facebook leads. Okay. But as soon as I figure out how the rules go, and if you Google how to set up a Facebook rule for your leads, there's tons of reading material. I've been reading it and trying to figure it out, but for some reason, the values that I'm typing in are just not computing because I'm not getting any emails. So I'm not sure why that's happening. But yes, there is a way, Joe. So if I click on Lead Center, this is what it looks like. And all your information's here. You can easily just download them right here in the corner. I usually download them and then send them off to our people. That's pretty much it. And you can move them from raw to in progress to interested to converted. It's basically like a very lightweight CRM back here. I wouldn't suggest trying to use it as your CRM. I would just suggest trying to, I just move them from raw to in progress so I can keep track of which ones are new versus old. That's usually how I use it. But every time I always come up here to download and it'll put them into like a CSV file for me and they can be transferred anywhere you want them to go. Is that cool?
And then Nick, you email them with the email that they left you and just say that you, hold on a second, that you are responding to the ad. How would you respond to someone?
It would just depend on what they were inquiring about, right? So if they were looking at like a down payment assistance and the like getting out of Los Angeles conversation, I would lead with something based off of that. Like, hi, this is Nick. I saw that you inquired on my Facebook ad. I wanted to, or sorry, saw that you inquired on Facebook. I probably wouldn't say ad. Saw that you inquired on Facebook. I noticed that you're interested in down payment assistance programs. I've got some great things to talk to you about. Do you have a few minutes for me or something like that? I might just lead in with talking to them about what they inquired about, right? I'm not going to usually pick up the phone and call a lead I don't know and say, hi, I'm a real estate agent. How may I help you? Because that's normally not why they clicked on the ad. Again, with my ad specifically, it was about, I'm sure people who are inquiring, at least with the feedback I'm getting from our scrubber, is that they're all interested in those programs. And most of the time they need to talk to a lender. That's usually the first step with something like that. Now, if it was Proposition 19, I'm probably going to get more calls from, you know, seniors, or I'm going to get calls from kids of the seniors who want to help their parents out, figure this stuff out. And I probably need to be pretty damn knowledgeable about Prop 19 before I put out an advertisement about it, right? So I'd probably want to have some bullet points to go over with them of how it works, or get them in touch with my title rep who might know more. Like SKG Title Group is doing an amazing training on this Thursday on that at 1 o'clock. They're doing a training, I think, for 500 people, first come, first serve basis for that type of program. So I might want to be super knowledgeable on that before I get on a phone call with somebody about it, and then talk to them about their home and do they, you know, they're going to sell, where do they live now? You know, just all those types of questions. If you do an ad for a property, like when Chuck did an advertisement for his listing, he was just doing an advertisement for a property. So I'd probably pick up the phone and say, you know, hi, I am the go-to agent for this property. You know, do you have any questions about it? Do you need to get access? I might lead with something like that. So just make it appropriate, always be of service, always provide value when you pick up the phone. Can you show how to schedule a post flyer in advance on Facebook? Elia, what do you mean?
Okay, so what I'm saying is if I want to schedule like a flyer every day on Facebook, either business page or personal page, is there a way to do it in advance?
Oh, schedule a post?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you can do it on your personal. I know you can do it on your business.
Yeah, Nicole, we had a meeting with Nicole this morning and she said there is a way, and I thought you were going to bring that up. That's why I'm asking now.
You can, we just went over that yesterday with the Get Smart Academy. You can do it through your creator page on your page. I think it's called Creator. It shows up.
Is that within Facebook?
Yeah.
Creator, I don't know much about Creator, honestly.
I don't either, but that's how they were talking about how that's how you can schedule in advance.
Yeah, and remember too, Elliot, Casey's a magical person with scheduling posts. Like all of our social media, she usually does on one day for like the whole week. So she's pretty good at that too. So she might be somebody you want to reach out to because I'm honestly not necessarily.
Okay,
But it does
Or,
say, I mean, it didn't say this on my personal page, but on my business page, it said post scheduling is available in publishing tools. So let's go to publishing tools and let's see where it takes us. Let's see.
you're on the business page right now, right?
I am, yeah.
Okay,
Try the business suite, it says. So this is all new to me, so I don't know anything from here going on. Scheduled posts. Okay. Create a post. So I guess from back here, I could create a post and schedule it, but it's inside of business.facebook.com. So this is the business suite for Facebook, but I just got to it. Just so you guys know, I literally just clicked around through.
okay, I'll play with it.
When I went to my business page, if you just go to create a post down here,
Mm-hmm.
it says publishing tools and it'll take you to where I am right now. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, anything else, guys? I've kept you way over an hour. So if you have any questions, please hit me up. I did record today, so I'm happy to, I'm gonna share this later today. And again, if anything I said doesn't make sense or you're having trouble, please just hit me up. I've made a lot of mistakes on here, so I'm pretty well versed at this point in how to make stuff go. at least with the ad part. I can't say the business suite. I don't know much about the scheduling of posts, but the other stuff I do.
Cool.
Okay, guys, have a
Thank
great
you, Nick.
day.
That was
and
great.
I'll talk to you later, okay?
Thanks
Thank
so much.
you.
Bye.
Thanks, Nick.